Hi, welcome to Academic Matters. I'm Joe Marbach, Provost at LaSalle University. Today, I'm joined by Dean Zane Wolf of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Zane, welcome to the program.
Thank you for inviting me, Joe.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. Zane, for those in the viewing audience who don't know much about you, could you tell us a little bit about your background and how long you've been at LaSalle and why you've stayed at the university for so long?
Well, I think there were two reasons that I came to LaSalle, one of which was because my husband graduated from LaSalle. He was an honors student, and he really loved the teaching of the brothers. He thought he got a very high quality education. And when I came, I had been teaching at Villanova University, and I came here to have fun with the then director. I thought I would have a good time. Mm-hmm. And the creation of the RNBSN program was very exciting. There were only two. We were the second RNBSN programs in the area at that time. So I was the first nursing faculty that they hired. There was a director there at the time, at a chair, and it turned to director. So we generally welcomed students and made a very creative RNBSN curriculum. And I began to really enjoy learning how to be a scholar in nursing. Mm-hmm. And at the same time I came here, I was admitted to Penn's doctoral nursing program. So I attended Penn part-time and basically got my PhD studies done when I was at LaSalle that way. And LaSalle supported me because I had a semester leave to finish my dissertation. Then I decided to keep on going. I was going forward in rank. And we decided that we would start the Masters of Science in Nursing program. So I had a lot to do with that in terms of the work. I did most of the work on that, and we started to admit graduate students in about 1987. So that went very well. We had a track for the clinical nurse specialists and also for the nurse administrators, managers. So things really began to really function very well in what was then nursing. And we look forward all the time to seeing if we can get federal grants. So we began to attract people that knew about how we had every right to get federal grants. And we had a faculty member who was with us for 2 years who had worked in the federal government. And that really got us to the point where we were convinced that we had every right to go for grants every year because it was our tax base. So we sort of thought about it that way. And we began to be successful. And then we started the Neighborhood Nursing Center. We had a public health nursing faculty member by the name of Patty Garrity, who's still in the Philadelphia area and not with us, but she really helped us to focus on the needs of the vulnerable people that we were dealing with in the community. And we started, we had already had a public health nursing undergrad course for the RNBSNs, but that made us really look at a nurse-managed wellness center, and that's how we started the LaSalle Neighborhood Nursing Center.
And that's one of the oldest, if not the oldest?
It's the oldest, we think it's the oldest nurse-managed wellness center in the United States, and we really were very successful in getting a lot of grants over the years with that. And other people besides Patty Garrity came and infused the idea of reaching out to the community, working with the community, not doing things to them, but working with them and trying to facilitate their access to health care.
And does that offer placement sites for our student nurses? And,
yes.
And do our faculty get involved?
Some of our faculty get involved with the nursing center in relation to being clinically placed with students. We place 100% of our undergraduate students in the community, either in Bristol, in Bucks County, around Bucks County, and throughout Philadelphia. So we have at any one time, all through the year, summer, fall, and winter, nursing students out in the community in Philly and also in Bucks County doing public health nursing, which is a different kind of nursing. It's not acute care hospital nursing. So there are graduate students in public health nursing that have also gone through getting their degree with us, who have been placed in some of the nursing center grants and also with the projects that the nursing center does. So that's been a really wonderful experience for me to witness. As being, I was an acute care nurse, a critical care nurse, but to have the education of reaching out like that has been very good for me to think about and to get our students to be encouraged to look at the world a little bit differently that way.
Let me ask you about the nursing program, because we offer a full-service shop, I guess, from RN to BSN all the way through to a doctorate degree. Could you describe some elements of the program, and if people at home might be interested, if we have some RNs looking in that might want to go after that degree, or nurses with the BSN, they could go after an MSN?
Well, we have a pre-licensure program for people who have never been nurses, and we offer degree courses to people who are interested in the day program or the evening weekend program. And we have 500 students in the undergraduate nursing pre-licensure program taking clinical courses, with about 500 more in the pre-nursing courses that they need as prerequisites. We have about 400 people in the graduate and nursing certificate programs, and we have nurse anesthetist track, we have clinical nurse specialist, public health nursing, adult nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner, clinical nurse leader, and we have a partner with the Frank Tornetto School of Anesthesia for nurse anesthetist education. But people who are interested in going from a diploma or hospital school education with an RN or from an associate degree program can come to LaSalle and attend the online program for the RN-BSN. And we're happy to say that once people find us, that they're interested, a lot of them, in pursuing the master's degree with us. Mm-hmm. We're working on our second year of the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree, and that's a new degree, and we're interested in figuring out how we're going to make it easier for people to go from the master's through the Doctor of Nursing Practice. And that degree welcomes people who are nurse administrators and also nurse practitioners, clinical nurse specialists, nurse midwives, and nurse anesthetists. So this is going to be the future of nursing. It's very comparable degree-wise, doctorate-wise, with the PharmDs, mm-hmm. with the DPTs, the people who do physical therapy, with the AUDs, the audiologist doctors, and so forth. So it's a clinical degree. And we think that we've worked up a really good curriculum, so we just have to advertise more and get more students here.
Yeah, and as I understand, we're looking at some new delivery methods, perhaps a hybrid type of degree or
well, we're already
model.
Doing that, Joe. We already have a online course. We're doing the professional ethics course online, and most of the courses are hybridized, almost up to 50% hybridized right now. We've also, because the DNP degree requires 500 clinical hours post-masters, we have arranged that some of the courses include some of the hours so that they're not all captured at the end of the degree and hold people up. But that degree gives you a very interesting, more broad view of healthcare and nursing. And at the end of it, they prepare a project, the capstone project, that will contribute to an organization in healthcare, that will be partnered with somebody working within an organization, and we'll have a publishable paper. It's not a dissertation, but we'll have a publishable paper.
And it's the nature of the degree. It's not a research degree.
It's not a research degree. That doesn't mean ultimately the graduates couldn't do research with some mentoring, but it's really not a research degree. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited about the nursing programs that we have in the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Yeah. And
in addition to nursing, you also offer programs in speech, language, hearing, public health, and nutrition.
Yes.
And a general health sciences type of degree.
We do.
The latest, I guess, is this new bachelor's degree in public health. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I really thought that we needed to do this because we have undergraduate students who, if they look at the health studies major, they're not really sure what kind of jobs they're going to get, even though we're counseling them mm-hmm. in certain ways. And so because we have the Master's in Public Health degree as a new degree, I decided to work on creating a BS in Public Health. And within that, the students will, if they take the courses that are planned for them, be able to sit and get certified as a community health educator. So they can do health education for the public. So they also will be eligible to not only pursue a master's degree in public health, mm-hmm. other potential master's degrees, MPH for example, but they also will get jobs that are beginning level jobs in the area. And the field of public health is very broad and surprising, and the federal government is now interested in educating the public in public health mm-hmm. ideas, but also in getting more practitioners out there, because there's a dearth of them. When you look at the statistics in Pennsylvania, you find out there are not enough workers. And if we get some kind of threat, biologic threat, for example, chemical threat, then they're the kinds of people that might be interested in dealing with those kinds of
Sure, I imagine
stresses.
even environmental threats. You know, we hear about
environmental threats
the natural
as well.
gas industry and fracking, and nobody quite knows.
And also some
there.
of the areas in Philadelphia that are littered with trash, if there are vermin around and things like that, air quality, water quality, in addition to bacteriologic or virologic threats. So.
And there aren't many other programs like this in the city or region.
No, Temple has a BS in public health, and we are going to be just a program in public health. I think that, and I'm sure, Drexel's the only one that has a school of public health in the area. But there are public health programs kind of scattered around the area. Some of them are under medical schools, like Penn's. And that might be changing, because if people are looking at what the federal government wants us to do with what's called Healthy People 2020, there's definitely a commitment to public health within that.
And we're looking to position ourselves and take advantage of kind of where the industry is headed in that area.
And I also think people that come to LaSalle are interested in serving the public, potentially, and that there may be students that find that kind of a niche for themselves, because it is a service-oriented, altruistic, hopefully, oriented life work.
Zane, we have less than a minute left, and we haven't talked about half your school. So I hope you'll be able to come back in the spring semester and tell us about speech language hearing and what's going on with nutrition and the labs that are built in, and your facility over in St. Benilde Tower, which is the old Germantown Hospital, for folks to give it a geographic location.
I'll be glad to.
Okay, great. My guest has been Dr. Zane Wolf, Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences at LaSalle University. Please stay with us when I'll be joined by Dr. Kevin Harty, who is the chair of the English department here at LaSalle. Welcome back to Academic Matters. I'm Joe Marbach, the Provost at LaSalle University. Now I'm joined by Dr. Kevin Harty, who's the chair of the English department. Kevin, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to LaSalle and some of the work you've been doing. I know you've been very active in terms of publication, but give us a background that leads us up to Kevin Harty today.
Well, I came to LaSalle in 1982, and prior to that, I had taught at a small school in Louisiana, a middle-sized school in Rhode Island. I was down the road at Temple, and I came here. I had come to Philadelphia to do graduate work at Penn, and my particular area of expertise was the Middle Ages, basically 500 to 1500. But what attracted me to LaSalle was it seemed to me the right size place with the right emphasis. Obviously, every school takes teaching seriously, but here at LaSalle, there's this very, I think, healthy mix of teacher-scholars rather than scholar-teachers, and I don't think that difference is just simply a matter of semantics. That is, I have found when I came to the department, and since I've been in the department, both as a member of the department and now as chair, that people teach courses that lead them into areas of research and areas of research that lead them into courses. So that my training in medieval studies, which was fairly straightforward, Chaucer, Beowulf, things like that, eventually led me to look at the fact that the Middle Ages are immensely popular today in popular culture. And back around 1985, then Dean of the college, Brother James Muldoon, had this idea, since there was this newfangled thing called computer searches. I'm dating myself here. And you had to pay for them, that he'd pony up the $50. And I decided I would do a computer search on what programs yet existed to see how many films about King Arthur there had been made, and we turned up a sort of short list, and that has gone on to fuel courses I teach here. I'm teaching a course in King Arthur right now, and we're doing all the stuff from the beginning on up to the Middle Ages, but we'll also end with some films about King Arthur. And my students are writing term papers on a variety of versions of the King Arthur story, from traditional medieval stuff I've got a kid who's doing a paper on King Arthur advertisements. Why is there King Arthur flour? Why is there Merlin's mufflers? Why is there Round Table Pizza? Why is there Excalibur casinos? And that has led to my teaching courses and writing books, and that's true of other people in the department. So that there was a long tradition of doing this. It has continued. LaSalle's the right mix in terms of size, I think, where there's a lot of support from the library, the administration, to carry out research. But there's the understanding, and I think it's a perfectly legitimate understanding, that it is not research just for the sake of doing research, that it is research that is tied to the courses we'd like to teach, or the courses we do teach, or the courses we have been teaching. And there's this kind of going back and forth, which I think is very exciting from my point of view as a teacher, because I've been teaching since 1970. And I think it enlivens the classroom for our students. Occasionally a student will say in the class to either me or one of my colleagues, hey, your footnote number 13. And the students seem to recognize that that means something other than just being footnote 13. But they're coming to LaSalle, a school that is grounded in teaching, that is named for the patron saint of teachers. But they're getting teachers who are deeply invested, be they in political science, biology, nursing, whatever, in the ongoing research questions and maybe cutting-edge research questions of the fields in which they teach.
Right, and you're one of those people, quite literally. We have a number of your publications, your books that are here. You mentioned the starting out with looking at King Arthur, but you've gone beyond that. You've looked at Vikings in film, right, most recently. And you really do take your research and bring it into the classroom, and it seems vice versa. I guess the idea for did the Vikings come from something out of the class? Or?
Well, I had already done a book on King Arthur, and I'd been working on Robin Hood and Joan of Arc, and there was a certain bank, which I won't mention, that had these commercials featuring Vikings marauding across the landscape, and I thought, wait a minute, how is it that everybody knows these are Vikings, and how is it that everyone knows that they're going to maraud? And it plays upon the idea that the Middle Ages are immensely popular today because they have resonated in a number of ways throughout our culture. And I began to get interested in doing a book on Viking films. And after it came out, everyone said to me, you know, why didn't somebody else think of this before? It's a real natural. And coincidental with the doing of that book, I taught an honor seminar in the Vikings. And I made the day for a gift shop woman one day when I walked in and bought 20 Viking hats for everybody in the class. So we posed on Leif Erikson's day here on campus wearing our Viking hats, and actually the picture's on the department website.
On your website, okay.
But it was a course in which, because it was an honors course, students were not English majors. And I had people doing course papers on the geology of Iceland, the economics of why the Greenland colonies of Vikings failed in the 14th century. A number of people, there's a fairly large interest in Vikings in heavy metal rock, people doing papers on that sort of thing, plus people doing expected things that were literary if they were English majors. And it's part of the thing that I see most true about LaSalle and what has kept me here, that you can integrate your research and your teaching and your teaching and your research. And I think I'm trained to be a researcher and I'm trained to be a teacher, and I like both parts of that. And I don't think I would be a good fit at major research university where teaching was less of a priority. The other advantage here at LaSalle is the department offers such a wide variety of courses that you get to teach a lot of different things, so that I also teach business writing. I teach modern American drama. I teach in the MBA program. And the English department here is probably the leading department for lending people to other departments. We teach courses in graduate religion, in the MBA, and graduate communications, in American studies, women's studies, leadership and global understanding. We are a diverse group of people who are trained to teach in a whole variety of different ways, a whole different topics. The undergraduate major offers, for instance, and it's probably one of the few, if you're interested in creative writing, poetry writing, playwriting, fiction writing, we can piggyback on our colleagues in the communication department and also offer script writing. So an undergraduate who thinks that they might like to have a career as a creative writer, there's not many programs that offer that series of courses for you.
And in addition to what you're doing at the undergraduate level, you recently launched an MA in English.
Right. We're in our second year of this MA program, and it's a twofold program. Pennsylvania is one of those states, happily, that in looking at certification at the secondary school level, wants teachers to continue their training in the field in which they teach. Okay. So there is an impetus and a support from Harrisburg for middle and secondary school English teachers to take more courses in English. Mm-hmm. So our master's degree is designed for professionals broadly defined to include educators as well as other people, and you can track in something that's related to education, or you can track in more traditional literary and cultural studies. Mm-hmm. One of the unique features of this program, I think, is that it starts off with a common core. Everyone takes a pro-seminar.
Is it cohort-based?
It is not cohort-based,
okay.
But it starts off with a common core. And then you have an introduction to graduate and pedagogical studies, taught by one of our wonderful colleagues in the education department, because again, interdisciplinarity is, I think, a hallmark of LaSalle in general, mm-hmm. and English in particular. And then you do an American, a British, a Western world, and a non-Western world literature course. There's a capstone experience at the end, but then in the middle there, you have a range that will address the needs that you think you have. There are courses in cultural studies. There are courses in computer and web-based writing. Okay. There are courses in rhetoric and composition if you are interested in that. A whole variety of different courses. This semester, Dr. James Butler, who was my predecessor as chair and world-renowned scholar in a number of areas, is teaching a course in Philadelphia studies because our president's office is the home of Charles Willson Peale, the famous colonial painter. And these are historic grounds on which we sit across the street from the studio. It's an historic home. So we're tapping into the city, and we even offer a certificate in Philadelphia studies along with certificates in American studies and other sorts of things.
So that would be particularly attractive to teachers in local school districts, the Philadelphia School District in particular.
And also people just interested in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Butler offers tours of the property here to any number of groups. William and Mary may disagree with me on this, but we do have the oldest part of a standing building in America on a college campus, which is part of the basement of the president's house. Mm-hmm. I think William and Mary's argument is they have a whole building, ours...
We've got a foundation.
We have an older foundation.
And so, apparently a tunnel that the students discovered.
Yes, that was an unexpected tunnel. But all of this ties into, you know, you're at a school where teaching is taken seriously, mm-hmm. where the founder of the Christian Brothers really was a person who thought outside the box.
Yeah, it's very innovative
for his time. Yeah. I mean, not quite the inventor of public education, but darn close. Yeah. And that certainly in the English department, and I think it is true across the university, we have the ability and the will and really the track record to think outside the box. That an English degree here offers you a whole variety of opportunities. A degree in any of the other disciplines in any of the other colleges offers you a variety of opportunities. Depending on what you want to do with it, the world is your oyster. Mm-hmm. I sometimes say the joy of the English major is it doesn't prepare you to do anything, and it prepares you to do everything. So you hit the middle ground as to where it is you would like to go.
And chart your own course in many ways.
Chart your own course.
We've got 30 seconds left, Kevin. You've done Vikings, King Arthur. What's next?
Joan of Arc and Robin Hood a little bit.
Joan of Arc and Robin Hood. So Little John and Friar Tuck.
And Friar Tuck.
Okay, great. My guest has been Dr. Kevin Harty, Chair of the English Department here at LaSalle University. Thank you for watching.